Yo, what's up, everybody? It is Rick Kamla. It is Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, aka Dr. A, and we are here previewing Wednesday's slate of games in our beloved NBA on the Fantasy NBA today. Doc, what's up, dude? So you got your little Masters jacket on right there. It's actually kind of a crisp, cool jacket you got on there.
Well, Rick, we have animals in my house, and my daughter took the El Gato to the vet today because it got bit by something on its leg, and I'm like, it's fine, it's a cat, dude. They have 9 lives. They don't ever die. But she's like, I'm really worried about it, Daddy. I was like, fine, dude. There's nothing I like less than paying vet bills. So she took El Gato, the cat, to the vet, and 150, $160 later, cat's good to go. So, and then the Masters jacket is in honor of the incredible TGL golf event that just ended on ESPN. It ended yesterday on Tuesday night. It's that Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy simulated golf league they've put together. And next week, Tiger's playing on Tuesday night. And the week after that, it's Tiger versus Rory. And I think people might tune into maybe those. But tonight, man, every friend I have, I was like, did you watch golf tonight? And they're like, huh? What? There's no golf at 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday, but there was.
So you just won a Moe's burrito, and inquiring minds want to know, because Andre Lemouche put out a challenge to us. The first one to say El Gato, and it makes sense in proper context, gets a Moe's burrito. You took the first opportunity here to go down. Like, is this the dog ate my homework deal?
I made up the whole story. We don't even have any cats.
Is this fabricated right now?
No,
because it was a really well crafted story. So you actually took El Gato to the El Veterinariano.
And he got some El Antibioticos. And now he is back on the road to recovery-os. He's not going to be El Muerte anytime soon. In fact, he's going to live forever and taunt our lives and destroy our house and all that stuff.
Destroy our house. But you got a Moe's burrito out of it. So, good job right there, dude.
Rick, last time there was a word challenge out there, and you were the first person to speak, and you just ended it like within 5 seconds. I'm like, I'm not letting that happen again. If he passes me the ball, I'm going all in on El Gato. And the fact that my daughter took Spida, his name is Spida, man. After who's Spider? Donovan. She took Spider to the vet today, and now I'm $150 poor.
I thought it was going to be a higher bill than that, dude.
I did too.
At the vet. I think you got out pretty good on that one right there.
I'll take it.
Let's start looking ahead to Wednesday's slate. But first, I want to tell you about our awesome sponsor, Bet Online, that continue to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion with the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC. BetOnline is the number one sports betting source for the new year. From touchdowns to three-pointers to hat tricks, BetOnline has you covered on every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. Doc, we have a massive game going down on Wednesday night. It is the Oklahoma City Thunder at the Cleveland Cavaliers, and this is a very rare planets aligning scenario. OKC has won 15 straight games. Cleveland has won 10 straight games. It's the first time in NBA history you've got a team on a 15-game heater, a team on a 10-game heater meeting. It's never happened before. I've got some more stats for you, Doc. It's the first matchup in NBA history between a team on a 15-game winning streak. I already said that one. Here's the next one. It's the first interconference game in NBA history between teams with a winning percentage of 850 or higher this late into the season. That was one of those Cam stats where I'm like, wait a minute. We probably never had 31-4 against 30-5 in NBA history, right? We have not, okay? with it being an interconference setup there. And it's the second time in NBA history that multiple teams have won at least 30 of their first 35 games in a season. I could go on. I'll stop there. You get the point. So, Doc, this is a massive game right here. And let's get into who you got, and then we'll get into some fantasy stuff here. And I'm gonna check you into the boards about the overrated Jalen Williams. So, who you got? Cleveland is a 2.5-point favorite at home in this game. Doc, I'm gonna take the Oklahoma City Thunder here plus the 2.5. They have the defenders to bother Mitchell and Garland like they did on Sunday when they bothered the heck out of Derek White and Drew Holiday. SGA is the best player on the court. Heck, probably the second or third best player in the league. I don't know. SGA probably thinks he's the best player in the league, and I'm not mad at him, right? It's Wemby, it's Jokic, it's SGA, it's Luka. I could go on. I think you get the point here. But I got OKC plus 2.5, Doc, in this clash of the Titans. How about you?
I have OKC plus 2.5 as well, just because I still feel like they're the best team in the league, and I've felt that way since very early on. In fact, as early as you can go. I'll tell you how big this game is. I do a little radio show on ESPN Northwest Florida radio out of Panama City Beach on Tuesdays, and I get on there and they have me talk about fantasy basketball, but we usually talk about other stuff like my cat and Buc-ee's and burritos. Today there was a long conversation about baby oil, which was weird. But the point is, they're like, hey, Doc, we have a listener question. He wants to know how excited you are about this Oklahoma City at Cleveland game on Wednesday night. And for somebody in Panama City Beach, Florida, to be asking that question of me tells you that this is a big game. And like you said, we haven't seen anything like this. Teams from different conferences, both in first place, both with incredible records, both with probably less combined losses than a lot of teams. Some teams have wins by them. It's just wild. And there's not really a big fantasy breakdown from this game because they play the same guys every night, both teams. They're both always healthy. I think the angle is, as you alluded to earlier, is the torture chamber. Lou Dort shutting down either Darius Garland or Donovan Mitchell, and SGA helping him out. And, this game's on ESPN. Everybody gets to watch it. It's an early game. You don't have to stay up late for it. We'll see if the NBA ratings thing that we keep hearing about constantly is a thing on this one, because I would hope that NBA fans know what's happening and tune into that game, because it should be stellar.
You bring up an interesting case study for the NBA world and ratings because, Doc, it's Oklahoma City and it's Cleveland. These are two smaller markets, okay? It's not LeBron, it's not Steph, it's not Luka, it's not Wemby, it's not the Bucks, it's not the usual suspect teams, right? And SGA gets slept on, OKC gets slept on. Correct me if I'm wrong, but OKC was not on Christmas Day, were they? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know, dude.
I can't remember. I know the Bucks were not. I want to say OKC wasn't on Christmas Day either, which is obviously a joke if that was the case. I can't remember. That's it's like a week and a half ago. And wait a minute, I'm trying to think here. It was I don't even want to go back and do it, but I don't think they played on Christmas. So I'll be curious to see if NBA fans are like, if they set ratings records with this. Frankly, I kind of doubt that's going to happen, Doc. But we shall see. Will Jalen Williams finally?
I don't think it's going to set records, but I think it may be watched by a lot of people.
Agreed. Will Jalen Williams fire in this game? Jalen Williams has not scored more than 20 points in 8 straight games. Jalen Williams is down to 16.6 PPG over the last 2 weeks. Again, I'm not sounding alarms. It's not DEFCON 1 around here. There's still goodies defensively. Although the 3 ball has really vacated him, Doc, and that tells me that maybe we got a little bit of a heavy leg issue here. Not an injury, but just kind of heavy legs. He's been really playing a lot of minutes and really pouring a pint of blood out on that court every night. And I wonder if he's hit a little bit of a wall here. And this is
how many games have they won in a row?
15.
Yeah, Jalen Williams sucks, dude.
I'm not saying he sucks. I just think he's a little overrated.
They should really find a way to get him the ball more because this obviously isn't working. Now, fantasy's different though. I get it. He's not coming through in fantasy, but I guarantee you, Jalen nor the Thunder want to change anything about what he's doing right now. They'd like to see him hit a few more threes, maybe, but I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
OKC was not on Christmas, by the way. A stat
he's in
validated.
A slump, dude. He's been like 10th round value for the last 2 weeks, and before that he was, on the season I think he's like 2nd or 3rd round value. So I'm calling it a slump. I'm in my buy low sell high column that comes out tomorrow. Jalen Williams is a buy low, big time, man. Because he's not gonna do this all year. He's gonna get back in the group. Yes, I know Chet Holmgren's coming back. I don't care. Jay Will is gonna be fine.
I want to make this abundantly clear. There's a lot of sarcasm in my setup here. I love Jalen Williams. We all love Jalen Williams. Doc said like he's north of like Scottie Pippen. Okay, so that bothered me. Doc said that if Jalen Williams was number one, he'd be up there with the absolute best players in our sport. I'm not ready to go there either. So it's just ball busting, really, is what it is.
And I appreciate it, but I do stand by that. If Jalen Williams, regardless of what's happening, Jalen Williams, in my opinion, is one of the most talented players in the entire league, and he would be a superstar if he wasn't playing next to SGA. I stand by that.
All right, and we both like OKC plus the 2.5. I'm looking for this to be an Evan Mobley game because Isaiah Hartenstein can't guard Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. And Mobley drifts and obviously plays in the perimeter, pinch post, all that kind of stuff. And Allen's more of a paint big and a rim big. And so I just put that in your pipe. And as Michael Malone would say, smoke it if you want. But I'm feeling a little bit of an Evan Mobley game tomorrow night when the Cavaliers host the Oklahoma City
as well. You mentioned 2 nights ago, Lou Dort was hit 3 threes in a row, bap, and it was huge. It won the game for him. I think that may have lit him on fire. I think Lou Dort is going to be not huge tomorrow, but he's going to play big time roles on both ends of the floor.
I'm a little reticent on Dort, Doc. I hate to disagree with you, but when a guy does act of God stuff, I always fade him the next game. Like, unless you're SGA or Luka or someone like that. But when you're Lou Dort and you hit 3 threes in the clutch to beat the Boston Celtics, I'm going to fade you in the next game. It's just a rule that I have. So I'm not on Dort. I think I'm not on Cason Wallace either because he had a huge takeover sequence in that game. And I just don't think that translates. That was a one-game thing. As we know, OKC spins the bottle with guys that kind of spike up and have the big games. And so I love my boy Doc, but I'm not feeling that one like he is. Washington at Philly tomorrow night, Doc. Get ready to eye roll. Joel Embiid out, left foot sprain. Paul George out, left groin tightness. We've probably seen the last of him for the entire season. Yes, that was more sarcasm. Tyrese Maxey is about to shoot for 50, Doc. And the only thing that will keep Maxey from shooting for 50 at home against the Wizards on the second of a back-to-back for them is a blowout, okay? But how does Philly blow anybody out without Joel Embiid and Paul George? I don't know. We'll find out. Big game from Tyrese Maxey, folks. Play the over on his point prop. Probably play the over on his PRA and get it, okay? Because no Embiid, no George. It's going to be the Maxey show, and it's a great. The matchup doesn't get any better than Washington at home on the second of a back-to-back. It literally, there's no better matchup for Tyrese Maxey in the entire season than this. Okay, capitalize on it. And Doc, as you know, and a lot of our audience members know here on Fantasy NBA Today, Sports Ethos Fantasy Basketball, no Embiid equals Yabu. No George equals Oubre. And so those are very obvious, I think, streamer pivots for people heading into Wednesday night.
And let's not forget that Bob Carrington led the Washington Wizards with 34 minutes on Tuesday night. He didn't exactly go off, but he had 12 points, 4 boards, 5 assists, 4 3-pointers. As you said, there's no Malcolm Brogdon. There was no Jordan Poole. I don't have much faith that we're going to see either one of those guys tomorrow night. I don't think they were holding them out to let them play in this game, that they're probably going to get smoked in by Tyrese Maxey, who should go for 50. But Bob Carrington, man, if he's still sitting out there on your waiver wire, I think he should. I think he should be rostered everywhere, just because he led the team in minutes. And Corey Kispert went off for 23 points in that game on Tuesday. I don't trust him to do that again, sort of like you don't trust Lou Dort to do it again. But he was hot. He had 5 triples, 7 of 10 shots. Probably not happening again anytime soon. But yeah, I'm fading Justin Champagnie, dude. I told you, with Kyle Kuzma back, I'm not trusting Champagnie again until Kuzma's back on the shelf or somewhere else.
Kuzma picked up an injury here on Tuesday night as we talk about the Wednesday slate. So maybe Champagnie does re-enter the starting 5 on Wednesday night. We shall see.
If Kuzma's out, get Champagnie. I'm good with it.
And then more for Keyshawn George, more for Bob Carrington. I do not have a priest in my home, Doc, and there's no demonic possession and there's no exorcism going on, but I just coughed up something unholy. It's crazy. Like all the illnesses in the NBA right now. Our guy Osar Thompson missing games. Jokic missed the game here tonight. Denver and Boston. And your boy is your boy's busted up. Like we're all sick. Like everybody's sick right now. It sucks. But let's move on here.
I'm glad you made it off camera to take care of that situation. Good job.
I tried. I tried
and
my
you
best.
hung in there through it too. That was impressive work by you.
Oh,
you also don't have a TV. You don't have a priest or a TV.
I'm shorthanded over here, man. I'm shorthanded. But Chicago at Indiana, another ball game on Wednesday night. Guys, we might have the first DNP of the season for Tyrese Halliburton. He has a right ankle sprain. He's questionable to play. As we talk here on Tuesday night, we don't know if he will play or he won't. Just look alive on that. Doc, I have a question for you. If Halliburton does not play, pick one to stream. TJ McConnell, Andrew Nebhard, or Ben Mathurin?
I want to say TJ McConnell, but I'm going to, well, I don't, Nemhard, even when he scores, he doesn't do a lot of fantasy stuff. I'm going to go Mathurin.
I'm going Nebhard.
Mathurin.
I'm going Nebhard, Doc. I like that we disagree here. Andre, split the tie here. Who are you going Streamerville if Hallie is out? TJ, Mathurin, or Nebhard? I'm going TJ. Nebhard because we talked about it. Nebhard looked really, really comfortable on the ball for a few games, and the PRA numbers were fantastic. To Doc's point, he's not a great fantasy gold guy. The blocks, the steals, the three. He does a little bit of that, but not a ton of that. But at PRA is where he really shines, kind of like our guy Bob Carrington. He's a PRA guy too. And Andre says TJ. So we have we have a TJ, we have a Mathurin, and we have a Nebhard. If Halliburton misses the game. So now it's on our audience to make the decision.
I think it comes down to whoever is available in your league to stream, because Benny Mathurin is rostered almost everywhere. TJ McConnell is not, and Nemhard's kind of in the middle. So, and if I could get 2 of them and I've got 2 roster spots, I'll play both of them. And if I'm setting a DFS lineup, I might roll with all 3 of them. I don't know. If Halliburton's out, they're all gonna do something.
It's awesome guard play in this game, with or without Halliburton. We talked about the Indiana guards, and then for Chicago, you've got Levine, you've got Kobe White, you've got Josh Giddey. Ayo Dosunmu, I don't think is going to play in this game, but there's a lot of great guard play in this game. And before we move on to our next game, let us thank you for listening to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast. We appreciate the support. If you want to help us keep this thing going and build it, it's simple. Head over to sportsethos.com and subscribe. That would be great. Thank you in advance. Second, subscribe to the podcast and leave us a 5-star review. Toronto plays at the Garden on Wednesday night. Doc, it is Raptors and Knicks, and that should evoke several bowls. The RJ Barrett Bowl, the OG Anunoby Bowl, and the Emmanuel Quickley Bowl. I may be forgetting a bowl, but I know that those three are going to be going down. And hey, Emmanuel Quickley is actually healthy for a basketball game. It's amazing, right? But Doc, I'm burying the lead in a way because the biggest story heading into this game is Karl Anthony Towns. Right patellar tendinopathy. He's questionable for the game. He missed Monday's loss to Orlando with the injury. So we talked about this, and we don't know right now. Again, recording on Tuesday night, we do not know if Cat's going to play or not. If he does not, and it's 1+1, maybe now we start to worry a little bit about a lengthy absence or a chunk absence for historically a very injury-prone guy. So, Doc, it's the most important injury report heading into Wednesday night is the Knicks injury report and what's going on with Karl Anthony Towns for me.
The Knicks have 24 wins. They're playing in the Garden. Toronto has 8 wins. If I am Tom Thibodeau's boss, I'm like, hey, bro, guess what? Cat's not playing tonight. He's resting up again. I don't care if he's hurt or not. I don't care how bad he wants to play. He's not playing, and you better beat these chumps without him, or I'm gonna be ticked off. If I'm running the Knicks, Cat does not play in this game.
But
and
you're not. And Tibbs is.
And if Cat misses tomorrow night, I'm gonna guess it's based on what I just said, and I'm not gonna worry. I'm gonna give him an and 1 on this. I'm gonna give him a 2 to make 3. Remember George McGinnis? George McGinnis back in the day on the free throw line, you get 3 to make 2. Did I say 2 to make 3? You get 3 free throws to make 2 of them. That's how they used to shoot free throws in the NBA or the ABA or whatever. And I don't care if Cat plays tomorrow or not. I hope he plays. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just like, look, this team has 8 wins. We're at home in the Garden. Let him rest. Let's get him healthy. And then we're going to run him into the ground for another 40 games in a row.
I understand everything you're saying. It's a bit of a dangerous game to play because the Raptors finally are healthy. They finally have their full complement. Pardon me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because Toronto, didn't New York just get beat at home by somebody that should not have beaten them? I mean,
yes, Orlando.
Orlando just beat
shorthanded Orlando
at New York without Franz and without Paulo. But unlike Toronto, the Magic are a very good basketball team without their stars. So, yeah, Toronto's healthy. Yeah, they could lick their chops if Cat's not out there. It's a dangerous game to play, but it's one game. New York is 24-13. No, I'm not playing them.
All right, dude. We shall see. We'll be on here on Wednesday night, breaking it all down with y'all. I just have a bit of a random take for you. If Cat does not play, go ahead and giddy up on the over for Jalen Brunson's point prop. He did not play all that well Monday night against Orlando. You know, that's been burning him and eating at him. And so he's due for a big game. It's the crappy Raptors team. And I could easily see like a 38 or a 42 from Jalen Brunson if Cat does not play.
Are you messing with Jericho Sims if Cat doesn't play?
No.
No.
No,
No, man.
maybe a rebound over, but like I don't trust it. Jakob Poeltl's a pretty good player. It may be tweet too early fouls, and Tibbs goes in another direction. So yeah, I'm good on Jericho Sims.
Uh, Ditto.
Um, Doc, Detroit plays Brooklyn on Wednesday night, and I wonder if Osar has this bug that's in me and coughing up lung cookies that look like death. I wonder. I don't. He's out of this game, and I certainly wish him well. Couple of takes here on the Detroit side, Doc. Malik Beasley is going to bounce back. He was absolutely dreadful in the previous game. He's probably going to get another start. And he's had too good of a year. He's too good of a shooter. It's Brooklyn. Hello. It's New York City. Guys tend to get geeked up about that, even if it isn't Madison Square Garden. So I got a bounce back game from Malik Beasley, and I have Cade Cunningham on triple double alert. And I would bet that if I were a great audience members out here, I would take whatever those odds are in Cade Cunningham to have a triple double. He's had many of them this year. This is at Brooklyn. It's a road game, so it's probably going to be close. And a lot's going to be required of Cade Cunningham without Jaden Ivey. So I'm feeling it tripped up from Cade Cunningham tomorrow night, Wednesday night.
I am comfortable with betting a Cade Cunningham double double. I think if you're betting a Cade Cunningham triple double, your odds are going to be really good, especially if you mix that up in like a propfecta bonanza. If you do any parlay props and you want to swing for the fence and try to win a bunch of money, a Cade triple double would do it if your other guys hit. But if you're just looking for safe money, I think a Cade double double looks pretty safe from where I sit.
I like that take, Doc. I like it a lot. That's FSWA Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. I'm Rick Kamla. This is Fantasy NBA Today, and we are ably supported by our great producer, Andre Lemouche. D'Angelo Russell, eye roll, will not play in this game. He's probably done for the year now. Right shin contusion. He's already been ruled out of Wednesday's game, second straight absence, second of many. And I just want to, again, reiterate Keon Johnson, Doc. I'm picking him up everywhere I can. Over the last 2 weeks, he's 15, 5, and 3 is his PRA, 1.4 steals, and 2.1 threes. That should not be on the waiver wire right now. That's a solid line. I mean, it's at the end of your roster, right? And on a big, thick Wednesday night, maybe you don't play Keon Johnson. Maybe he's a guy that lingers at the bottom because you've got absolute stud beasts in all your starting spots. But maybe not. Maybe you're like some of my teams that have Luka and Paulo and Ja Morant. Hello, in the Sports Ethos League, it's a freaking miracle I'm hanging in there in like 11th place in a 20-team league. Think about that. Paulo, Luka, Ja Morant. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. Anyway, Doc, I think Keon Johnson's a really, really good pickup. I wrote about him in the waiver wire article that just hit the wire here today or yesterday. But you're feeling Keon Johnson too a little bit, aren't you?
I am. D'Angelo Russell, out. Cam Thomas, out. Cam Johnson, out. Your boy, Ben Simmons, out. That means Keon Johnson, Noah Clowney, Nick Claxton, Zaire Williams, and Day'Ron Sharp. Did I say Keon? Yeah. Keon, Clowney, Claxton, Zaire, and Day'Ron Sharp are all going to do something in this game. So I think Claxton for me is number one. Then I'd go Keon. Then I'd go Clowney. Then I'd go Zaire. Then I'd go Day'Ron. But all those guys are worth consideration, especially in like DFS or, if you're in a deep streaming league and Day'Ron Sharp's the only guy out of that list that's sitting out there on your waiver wire, he could have a good game tonight.
The guys that you mentioned that will be available, excluding the Cams and the D'Los, that's the NBA's version of the Washington freaking Generals, dude. That's the Washington Generals, man. I'm telling you. I mean, you're hitting me with Day'Ron Sharp and Jalen Wilson. I mean that is
Jalen Wilson.
That's butt rotten, dude. That's not bad. That's butt ass rotten. I mean, that's Washington Generals time. But it's by design. They're tanking. They want a little swing at Cooper Flag. Doc, let's talk about another game on Wednesday night. Portland at New Orleans.
Rick, When you said that D'Angelo was out for the season, that was more sarcasm. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to
Yeah.
clarify. Somebody's
Yeah,
watching
that's
this
not a
like
Shams bomb. That's
somebody's
just
like, oh
me
my God, I just
interpreting
picked him up.
the body of work or
He's
lack
out for the
thereof by
year.
D'Lo.
All right. Next game.
Portland at New Orleans. Any chance we get Zion playing in the second of a back-to-back?
Did you see the
any
dunk?
chance?
Did you see the dunk on
I did.
Tuesday night?
I did.
And you know what I did? I quote tweeted that highlight, and I was like, "Sell high, move him. This is your sign."
So I'm looking up to see if there's any reporting about tomorrow night. Like, I would literally bet a lot of money that he does not play on Wednesday night. He said after the game, I definitely feel my legs are already under me. Now it's just in-game rhythm. Don't got time to take 3 to 5 games for that. Just got to figure out as quick as possible. So I don't know. I don't know if he'll play or not. I highly, highly doubt. He was on a minutes cap tonight of 28, and he's. I will be shocked, Doc, if we're here on Wednesday night talking about Zion Williamson playing in a back-to-back. I'll be absolutely shocked. Okay, I have a question for you. And Zion did play well against Minnesota on Tuesday night, and it was good to see, and the dunk was impressive. But he's Zion, and he's a myth, and he's a ghost, and nothing has changed with that just because he played one game. Another loss, by the way. I have a question for you rest of season, Doc. Yves Missi, singular, not plural. Yves Missi or DeAndre Ayton? And let me give you some stats, a little food for thought, as you and our audience members weigh this question. Missi or Ayton rest of season? You're like, are you really asking that, Cam? I am. Missi, over the last month, okay, when he's been starting and playing consistent minutes and all that, he's at 11 points, 9 rebounds, 1.8 blocks, almost 2 blocks per game. DeAndre Ayton for the season, okay, 14 and 10 with 1 block. So it's Ayton's a +3 in points, Ayton's a +1 in rebounds, and Missi's basically a +1 in blocks. And I know that DeAndre Ayton's going to get shut down. I know it's going to happen on the tanking Blazers. And Missi's probably going to play. He's a rookie who they're developing in a lost and forgotten year. So I'd rather have Missi than Ayton rest of season. Am I nuts?
My column coming out on Wednesday will tell you that it's time to sell DeAndre Ayton because unlike last year, he is going to get shut down. Donovan Clingan needs to play. Donovan Clingan needs to get ready for next year. Donovan Clingan, the fact that Donovan Clingan is wasting away with 13, 12, 14 minutes a night is disgraceful. And it hurts my heart. And then you've got Yves Missi. There's nobody else to play center for that team. Zion's going to be hurt soon. Pelicans are in full tank mode. And if you saw Cooper Flagg pick the ball off on Tuesday night and go coast to coast and throw it down in that poor child's face that he dunked on, the tanking level is about to reach high speed because these guys are like, okay, he's not messing around. Like Cooper Flagg is everything in this draft. You got to get him. And it's not close to me, Rick. I'd rather have Yves Missi. And if you can trade DeAndre Ayton to get Yves Missi, or if Yves Missi's sitting out there on your waiver wire in a smaller league, go pick him up. Go trade for him. It's a great call.
Thank you, brother. He did not have a great game tonight. Rudy Gobert had a massive game by his standards. In Yves, he had a good rebound number. I think he had a block or two, but he had like 2 points. It just wasn't really an Yves game here. But and just one more thing for you guys to look at. Jeremy Grant's not going to play in this game again. Denny Abdia is questionable with a wrist sprain. If Abdia plays, he will start and probably go over on his PRA, okay? And just keep your eye on that. And again, we're doing this on Tuesday night. We don't know if Denny Abdia is going to be cleared for this game, but if he is, I know Doc's high on him. I'm high on him, and I bet his PRA number is very reasonable, maybe around 20, and you can hit an over on that because in the starting lineup he's been activated. All right, Doc. Clippers at Nuggies on Wednesday night, late night. Let's talk Kawhi Leonard here for a second. He has averaged in 2 games 10 points in 20 minutes, and he shot 32%. He's been hot garbage in his first 2 games back. I'm not mad at him. He's shaking off rust and he's playing low minutes. And so you don't have an opportunity to sort of shoot yourself out of a bad shooting night. So I'm definitely not mad at him. But I ask you, are you feeling a breakout from Kawhi Leonard in game 3 at Denver on Wednesday night?
No, I am not. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. I don't think it's going to happen. Even when Kawhi's out there, he's still got to deal with James Harden and Norman Powell and Ivica Zubac, who those 3 guys have been getting it done all season for this team. This is a surprising 20-16 and in first place in the Pacific Division. They don't want Kawhi coming in here and jacking all that flow up, and not to mention Kevin Porter Jr. and Amir Coffey and Derrick Jones Jr. and Nick Batum have all been very solid for that team as well. At this point, as we keep the kid gloves on and roll Kawhi out there wrapped in, tinfoil and saran wrap, trying to protect him, bubble wrap, they just want him to play and try to get back up to speed. I don't think they're worried about him producing right now. So I'm not seeing a Kawhi breakout anytime soon.
I'm not either. We will also just feel fortunate that he's playing. Doc, this is the Russell Westbrook Bowl. Russell Westbrook was with the Clippers. Pardon me. He opted in last summer. The team quickly was like, yeah, we're trading you. And he got traded to Denver. Is there bad blood there? Probably a little bit of bad blood there. We're talking about one of the most intense, competitive, and petty, and I mean that in a good way, players in NBA history. One of the biggest dogs in NBA history. He's probably had this game circled in red ink, okay? And so I think Russell Westbrook and, Aaron Gordon's probably going to miss this game. Jokic missed Tuesday against Boston. He may come back, he may not. I don't know. But this is going to be a Westbrook game, even if Jokic plays. Like Westbrook, maybe a double-double, maybe a triple-double, to go with a triple-double by the Joker. And I could also see the new defensive-minded Russell Westbrook, who over the last 2 weeks is averaging like 2.2 steals per game. I could see him, Doc, D'ing up his former Houston teammate, James Harden. And you remember, it did not go well in Houston between Russell Westbrook and James Harden. They butted heads. It was a bad fit. And so maybe there's a little bit of take that for James Harden as well. So what do you think about the Russell Westbrook Bowl?
Well, I think it's always a Russell Westbrook game right now. He's having a good night on Tuesday against Boston. And that Boston team is no joke when it comes to opposing guards. He's having a good 2 weeks since they put him in the starting lineup. Maybe it's 3 weeks. And I don't know that Jokic is going to play in that game here. Hopefully he will, because it's just an illness. But I think Russell Westbrook is going to have a good game. He's having a good one against Boston. There's no reason he can't do it against James Harden. And, you mentioned James Harden and him in Houston, but this goes all the way back to the very beginning in Oklahoma City when those guys were together with Kevin Durant. And I'm sure when they see each other, it's like, Rick, I know stories about you and your brother. When you guys play against each other, yeah, you're brothers, but guess what? You guys go at it. And there's times that there could be bloodshed if necessary. And I think that's Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Like, they want to each other. And Russell Westbrook, I'm sure, he's got more dog in him than Harden has. So Westbrook's going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm shutting this guy down tonight. So I think that's going to be a great game to watch. And I love watching Jokic play. I obviously love the Clippers, so I'll be dialed into that one.
So I'm 2 years older than my brother, and I'm 6'2", and in my old days I had about 190. Right now I'm about, I don't know, 200, 205. A svelte 205. But Doc, all kidding aside here. So
Just
I wasn't.
make sure the ladies know that it's spelled because you're on the
Yeah, all
market.
the ladies watching our podcast here late night, right? Hi ladies, what's up? I'm single. But my brother, so again, I'm 6'2", 190 pounds, right? My brother, 6'6", 220. All
Oh
right.
boy.
He played safety in football, bro, and in tight end too. And as a safety, he sent guys to the hospital. I'm telling you, he broke arms, he broke legs, and it wasn't. He's just playing football. That's how good he was. He was breaking bones. Okay, the hardest punch I've ever taken in my life, Doc, was from my brother, and it took one punch. And I didn't bully him. I didn't overly haze him. But like when you're playing, you go and maybe a punch or two's thrown, right? And I had the upper hand on him for the whole run, Doc. And then we're in the backyard playing a baseball game, and like a little wiffle ball thing or whatever the hell we were playing. And maybe one of us had to go get the ball like after a home run, and neither of us wanted to, and so we started like pissing and moaning with each other, right? And I like shoved him, and he went wham, and dude knocked me down. My jaw was like, I can't talk. It was like, it was crazy, right? My jaw did go back into place. Um, one time, one time, bro. Hardest punch I've ever taken. And that was it. That was it.
So I was not
And so we never
exaggerating.
fought again after that
I was not exaggerating.
because I'm a smart guy. I didn't want to take another one of those punches, dude.
I'm
And
2 years older.
he
I'm 2
got
years
up he
older
got
than my
up
brother.
over me after he punched me, and I'm down on the ground in the grass with like dirt all over me. And he goes, "You want another one?" I go, "I do not." and he helped me up, and he actually went to get some ice for my face. I mean, it's brothers, right? It's
Was
what
it
we
like
freaking
an
do.
Ali Frazier moment when Frazier's just or Ali's just standing there over Frazier?
That's right. Like this, just like, you want one more? No, 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 no. This is not a thank you, sir. May I have another Animal House situation? I'm very, very good on that right hook that I just got, Mike Tyson style. Hey, we got one more game to preview on Wednesday night, San Antonio and Milwaukee. And before we get to that game, make sure you download the Sports Ethos app. It's completely free, keeps you updated on all the news that impact your fantasy teams. Plus, the tools included will give you the edge in fantasy basketball. Grab it from your favorite app store and continue to dominate with us. So, San Antonio at Milwaukee. Like, there's a bunch of sexy games on Wednesday night, folks.
I was just gonna say that, dude. It's insane what this looks like for not that many games. It is. Well, I guess there's a decent amount of games, but what a great night to have League Pass.
Indeed, dude. We get Wemby and Giannis. So we just got a weekend of Wemby and Jokic, and it was even better than we all thought it was going to be, and we all thought it was going to be phenomenal. Wemby and Giannis is going to be a bloodbath, okay? These guys are super competitive. They're going to be guarding each other. Wemby is not going to give an inch to this guy, and Giannis is going to be trying to teach the young guy some old tricks, okay? It's going to be phenomenal competition. Giannis last year in 2 meetings with San Antonio, Doc, averaged 27, 14, and 11, okay? That's 25. That's a PRA of 52. The problem with the Giannis PRA is it's probably going to be 49 and a half, 50 and a half. And like he averaged a triple double, which is barely over the PRA that's going to be out there for him, right? So be careful, okay? With that, just want to say, like last year, the numbers were phenomenal. Wemby in one matchup against Milwaukee last year went 27 and 9, 1 assist, 5 blocks, 1 steal, 2 threes. Typical fat Wemby line. And Doc, there's other fun stuff in this game. You get Chris Paul against Damian Lillard, 2 of the greatest point guards of all time. The Spurs are way deeper than the Bucks. And Chris Middleton is questionable, eye roll, with bilateral ankle injury management. And so he might not play. The Bucks are already thin with a healthy-ish Chris Middleton. If Chris Middleton doesn't play in this game, and it's Giannis, Lopez, basically, and Portis against the world, I'm going to like the Spurs in this game. And I know the Spurs aren't going to have Jeremy Sohan, and that is significant, Doc, because he's a forward. He's a guy that you can put on Giannis. and they won't have him to put on Giannis. So talk to me, dude, about this phenomenal game here, the Spurs and the Bucks.
Well, I was excited to have this stupid take of Wemby's going to be out there bombing threes over Giannis, right? And Giannis is like, no, young man, I can also shoot the three. Because it wasn't that long ago, 2020, Giannis shot 5 triples a game. 2022, he was close to 4. This year, Giannis is shooting 0.7 3-pointers per game. Nobody's talking about that. I'm not sure it really matters, but he doesn't shoot or hit threes anymore. I'm interested to see if Wemby gets in his head and trash talks him and is starting to launch threes to try to keep up with Wemby's threes. I doubt it happens, but man, this is going to be fun to watch. It's one of the best matchups, one-on-one matchups out there. It's Jokic, Wemby. It's Wemby, Giannis. I mean, those are probably the top 2. So I'm excited to see how this goes down. Wemby or Jokic, Giannis is probable to play in this game. So we're going to get it. We're going to see it. And I tell you what, man, San Antonio wants to win that game, and they want to win it bad. I think if I'm betting, I think I'm going with we're going with San Antonio.
For me, it hinges on Middleton. If Middleton doesn't play, I really like San Antonio.
Middleton's not playing. There's no way. They have the same number of wins. This is 18-18 against 18-16.
Mm-hmm.
It's 9:30. It's on ESPN. Let's go.
I know. The line is 5.5. Doc, I will take again, if Middleton doesn't play, I'm taking the Spurs plus 5.5. Hold on a second.
I'm taking Spurs plus 5.5 either way. And I'm feeling good about that. I also think we could see a Devin Vassell game because Dame Lillard don't play D. And, Chris Paul, we'll see a Chris Paul game, as you mentioned. But I also think we might see Vassell get loose because Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez are not guarding Devin Vassell. And I'm not worried about Gary Trent.
I think we're going to get a Stephon Castle game, not a huge game, but I think Castle will probably enter the starting 5 for Sohan. Keep your eye on that as the starting lineups come out, and I would go over on a PRA for Stephon Castle if he is in the starting lineup. I think you'll get that at a nice bargain. So, guys, we are done. Thank you for watching Fantasy NBA Today, Ethos After Dark. For Steve Alexander, for Andre Lemouche, I am Rick Kamla. Doc and I will be back tomorrow night. Flu pending here. Although I fight through illness, I'll be here tomorrow night, right after the games. Catch us live on the Sports Ethos YouTube channel. Find us on the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed. This show has been brought to you by BetOnline. Peace.